We are going to explain the value determination. We determine the Schneider patent portfolio value based on the relief from royalty method. This means this formula. There are four important factors. First one is cash flow modeling. Second one is cost assessment. Third one is risk assessment. Fourth one is assessment of the business related basic parameter. And there are many factors. For example, turnover. It corresponds to the turnover of the related of the product. And the preference parameter corresponds to the value add factor of the protected aspect of the entire product and reference. And the royalty rate is a basic royalty rate. Asset specific risk. It is a royalty decreasing factor. And the cost corresponds to the IP related spending. And T means it is a time period until the end of the product usage. And WAC means risk integration in the discount.
In order to generate a proper valuation, we need to also, of course, look at the or assess the useful lifetime of the portfolio. And of course, we can look at the maintenance. We don't have the information here. In general, 8 years. Of course, there's a motivation to abandon a patent after it gets older and older, as we know, in the US and Japan and so forth. Duration of usage, we don't have, but of course we see here the average is 3 to 5 years, probably very specific on the kind of industry. Product life cycle, we have the assessment of Mr. Q, that the legal protection should be about 6 years. I take that to mean the portfolio itself from the point of 2009, January of 2009, to be the starting point, the 6 years. So we ended up concluding that the patent portfolio's useful lifetime is 6 years.
The royalty rates are not usually applied to the total sales achieved by the product. We take in consideration only the technical part, and more than this, we look at the patented technical parts. So the royalty rates are applied to the share of sales that is attributable to the patent protected parts. In our case, we have the main machine, the horizontal drilling machine, and some spare parts, and both of them have some patents. And the patents, the shares, the royalty rates are applied to the shares of sales attributed to the patents of the horizontal drilling machine is 75%, and the other spare parts is 85%.
Now we have to evaluate what will be the royalty rate. So based on comparables, we know that in this category of products and in this field, royalty rates may be between 2% and 6%, depending on the quality of the patent portfolio and the technology itself. So we decided to score the quality of our portfolio and technology and transfer and use a linear model to make this transform this score to a royalty rate between 2 and 6. The 6 criteria are the following. So based on the first one, scalability. So we know that here we already have a product and process fully implemented in a serial production. So it's 1.2 score, the highest. For technology life cycle, we know that the technology life cycle will be at the beginning. In 2009 is the beginning of the production, the starting of the product. So it's 1.1 here in the scoring. For the substitutes, we know that there are currently no substitutes and there will not be any substitutes in the midterm. So it's also it's a high score here, 1.2.
So we have also the technology scorings. We found out that the patents protect functional units. So we have quite a lot of patents are this portfolio is focused on these units, and we also have methods. We have especially a unique selling proposition because the machine is very precise in its function, and it's a big advantage for the customers using such a machine. And while the competition is another factor which influences the royalty rate, and we found out that well, we have a good position compared to the competitors, so we gave a score of 1.1.
Next step is we have to assessment the legal risk aspects of the portfolio. We have here 7 different categories which we individually rated. Normally we have a default, we come from a default value, and we believe and normally for the portfolio we have, it is lower except one. So we have, first thing is the country and status of patent. We have a portfolio which is covering the main competitors' countries. So we don't see any big problem, so we reduce the amount from 5 to 4%. We don't see any problem with the ownership as the patents are filed in the name of Schneider. We have the only, let's say, key point is that we still have pending applications which are not granted, which means that there is a certain risk that these patents are not granted or not granted in the way we would like to have them. So we increase the risk from 20 to 28%. We did a freedom to operate analysis. We think we have a good chance that we do not infringe any patents, as we have a good technology which is quite unique. The scope is 7%. This is a basic average. We think furthermore that we have a unique technology which is good and which is so unique that we think it takes at least 6 years to get another technology developed around. So we reduced it from 50 to 15%. And last but not least, the enforceability. We think we believe in our portfolio, and so we think we will, if there is any infringement, detect the infringer. Altogether, we come to a risk discount of 43%.
So now that we have all the individual values, all we need to do is put them into the equation. And this is what the last slide does, which looks complex, but now that we know everything, it's actually quite easy. And I will walk you through one of the columns so that you see what happens here. We go by the total revenue and multiply it by the relevance factor, technology relevance factor, which is 75%, and arrive at this figure. From there, we discount for the legal risk associated with the patent portfolio, which my colleague just explained to be 43%, and we arrive at 8.4 million. After that, we look at the royalty rate, which was explained before, which is ends up being 5.5%, and so the total license fees for a similar portfolio would be in the range of 460,000 euros. From that, we subtract the cost, and after the cost is subtracted, we also determine the applicable tax, and also subtract the tax, and arrive at 324,000 euros. And then comes in the cost for the capital in accordance with this term of the equation, which then changes with the years, which you can see in the development of this factor here. And after applying this factor, we arrive at the second line to last, which is then summed up to 2.2 million. And because the company is actually would be saving tax when they were having to acquire a license. That is being factored in by a tax factor of 1.25, arriving at a total value for the portfolio of 2.757 million.